like it was La Marina singing all the words to Trina. Whole demeanor said freak like old pictures of a
Who's that? Budden?
Mr. Budden.
My Virgo brethren. Day after Guttzy.
So yeah, man, let's get into our smoke and mirrors segment right here. And I played Mr. Budden for a reason, because right now there is some turmoil over at the Joe Budden podcast.
No.
So
what's going on?
for the people who keep up with their podcast, right? They have like Joe, Mal, Rory, and Parks. That's the regular four, right? And Mal and Rory are basically like the main, because Parks just gives his input here and there, but it's Joe, Mal, and Rory are the guys.
Those are the two you see.
Right? So apparently now for the last 2 episodes, and I don't know, maybe by the time this video comes out, by the time this audio comes out, like maybe by the next 3rd episode, Mal and Rory haven't been there.
They left.
They're on a strike, apparently.
They're not getting the money they think they deserve.
It's allegedly they're on a strike, man. Let's get to it, Friday. Let's just get straight to it, fam.
Well, I don't know, because there's mixed messages. You know, he's saying that they're taking a vacay, right? And akademiks are saying they're on strike.
Of course, akademiks is saying that.
Right? Because there was a space and time where he was going at Rory's neck for about, I don't know, maybe about a month straight, it felt like.
Weren't they going at academic
nigga
not too
Rory.
long ago?
They were.
Exactly. Payback now. It's your turn now.
Yeah. So
It's your
then
turn.
they kind of chilled off the act stuff, right?
That's how Ak is feeling. Like, okay, you're taking shots at me now. Okay, now I'm going to send them right back at you.
Yeah. But from what Joe is saying, he's like, they've been just having disagreements, I guess, or a little bit of friction behind the scenes. Just the way that the whole, like, the Joe Budden network has grown like crazy. Like, they have like 4 pods over there now, like 3,
Yeah.
right? And like just a lot of moving parts has happened over the last 6 years that they've been doing their show.
Yeah.
So now,
Because they for people that don't know, like they had a big deal on Spotify. They're gone off that. They're now Joe has a big deal with Patreon. He's like has ownership into Patreon, I believe, or something like that. So like there's bags here and there. There's also bags that he's turned down that the man them probably were like,
Yo,
nigga, take that shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
but he's saying that it's not money. In the podcast that I was listening to this morning, he's saying it's not money. That's the issue. It's just that, you know, he could be a little bit crazy, and just a lot of things have been going on, and whatever. They had to just chill for a second. I'm watching Akademiks on live, and he starts going in, right? Saying, you know, he's probably, you know, they're on strike because they don't feel that they're getting paid properly, but he don't even need to be paying them because what the fuck do they do anyway? And it's just a lot of shit talking. I know there's a lot of salt with what he's saying, but he's saying it's money, and Joe's saying it's not. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think Joe can do it without them?
no. I think he can, but it's not going to last as long. I think people would draw away because like everything about those guys, the tension that they do, the way they talk to each other, they have a chemistry, bro. Like the chemistry is just too much there for him to try and interject other people that are not going to understand him. Because just like he said, he's very freaking complicated to deal with, right? It's not easy to deal with. So not everybody's going to know how to take his dry humor or when he tells jokes. Like they just compliment each other well. They bounce off each other well. Like just everything. I don't know, man. I don't see that lasting without them. Still, I'm not even gonna lie. Even though he does bring, I would assume he brings in most of the fan base too. Like fuck. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Sticky. What do you think? Do you think that they can survive without like even from a person? I know you're not like a big Joe Budden podcast fan.
Of the podcast.
You know what I'm saying? But like, if they have a team that's already been together for, let's say, 6 years or like 5 of the 6 years, right? And now let's say they interchange the parts. You think their podcast will still be able to go on?
It depends. If they can keep...
Or any show?
Yeah, because, well, they changed Ann Viv, right? So, like, you know what I mean? So anything's possible. It just depends on how you approach the situation, how you bridge it after the fact. Like, look, okay, how about Extra Gravy? Remember?
Yeah, you
Extra Gravy continued on. They changed one of the hosts. They continued on. right? Jason, they continued on and they kept moving without a beat. So it's possible.
Yeah.
It can be done. You know
And,
what I'm saying?
it actually improved, not just to Jason, but like
You
when
can't say
Norm,
that it improved it. It just made opportunity for other people to come in, and the show grew. I wouldn't say necessarily improved it because how many episodes did Jason really do?
I think he was there for about a good year or two.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna say still. I'm not gonna say it improved, but they grew. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They grew with the people that they got involved with. But not to bring it to them, but just
No, but like even like their show has evolved, right?
yeah.
It started with Joe and a girl named Marissa.
Yeah.
And it was just them back in the days. This is like way back
yeah.
when the
Right?
show was called I'll name this podcast later. Right?
Sickest name ever. You should have kept it that way.
And then Rory used to come through after a while, and eventually he fired Marissa. This is after the first year. And then Mal came through and then evolved to him, Mal. And then Parks, their engineer, but then he started getting on the mic. It's
My
kind of
girl was there too for a little bit. She would come in here and there though. Like the girl that's on the next show,
Bridget.
Bridget was there for a little bit too. I would see her in a 1-2 episodes.
Yes.
But I guess she was like whatever. But sorry to cut you too. Why I don't think it would also work too to bring up her show. They just had somebody leave on their show too.
On what? On the other show on the network?
Yeah, Olivia Dope left their show.
Wow. So he's
And
got a lot of
she
shit going
said,
on.
well, like she didn't say it, but they pretty much said it because she just didn't agree with a lot of stuff that Joe was doing. When they're there, thinking, okay, you should take the bag for that. Joe's like, no, ownership.
Yeah.
And you know, your workers
people-
are like, nah, fam, fuck ownership. I need my bag, fam.
Yeah, I need a bag.
I need a bag.
He's not worried about the team. He's thinking about I, and that's
It's not even.
in that situation. It's an I situation because other people are not agreeing with this with the fallout where they're saying, "Yo, you should have took the bag," and he's like, "Nah, I'm looking for ownership." They're disagreeing right there. So
Yeah.
you don't know everybody's situation. Like you said, I need the bag right now. Some people might be in foreclosure. They need that money. You understand what I'm saying? They need, and you just thinking, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna wait and get ownership.
Or to get a bigger bag.
Right? Like we don't know the circumstances behind the bags and the situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the easiest, best way to say is, yeah, no, they're on hiatus, they're taking a break, you know, they're on vacation. They're not fired, we're not quit, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And Joe will figure out his next move. They'll all figure out their next move, and before we know what's next, we'll be talking about the next thing that Joe Budden fucked up on, or one of them fucking whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Because how many podcasts has this man been on? Is this number 6?
No, this is his only podcast.
Well, I'll name this podcast later. You just said.
Yeah, but that was his podcast he evolved
and then
to.
he changed the name. He just changed the name to the Joe Budden Podcast.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying is, so there's only been one podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, yeah.
Yeah, and like
But he's looking for the bigger bag. But the people involved are probably like, "Yo, I need that. I need my cut right now."
yeah.
And he's looking long term.
Well, fuck, man. Salute to the whole Joe Budden podcast, the whole Joe Budden network over there, man. Like, hopefully Mal and Rory find their way back home, man. Like, that chemistry over there is
Or maybe they
better
do
with
their
them.
own thing.
Yo, let's get mixy. What are you doing in that situation Friday?
What do you mean?
Me and Herc decide, yo, fam, Friday, you got to take that bag. But you're thinking like, yo, we got to think long term though, guys. But we're like, nah, fam, we out here. We you know what I'm saying? This nigga might be sick of getting Parkdale. He's like, nah, I'm sick of throwing up. No, I'm not joking. I'm never going to be sick of throwing up Parkdale. But he might be like, maybe it's time to go. Go grab that bag. And you're like, well, fuck. Maybe we should hold out.
See, it's a sticky one because, like, I understand Joe's plight when it comes to the equity thing and stuff like that. Like, he's held out for bags and then got the bags after, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody's in the same position to be able to wait for the money since, like, he's
Joe. He still
he's
has
Joe.
money
He's got
from-
money. Well, he's made a lot of money in these times now, right?
Yeah. But he still he still has money from whatever maybe
Yeah.
coming in. Pump It Up was regardless was big.
No, not only that. Like besides the podcast,
His
he
music.
gets Love and Hip Hop bags. He was on fucking Revolt doing State of the Culture.
Income.
Right? He was on fucking Everyday Struggle for a while, getting a nice bag from them.
He's getting that money that's just there, you know, like shit.
He's the millionaire out of the four of them, basically. You know what I'm saying? He has a driver. He says this on the show and stuff like that. So yes, he's a little bit more comfortable to be like, no, let's hold out until we get the bag and fucking ownership.
Yeah, his money's long if he can have a driver during COVID.
Right? But I also understand where he's coming from, though, because it's like when you get the bag properly with the equity, then you're going to have more bags.
Yeah, obviously.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, because if we take this now, we're kind of getting fucked.
There's no renegotiating. Yeah, you got to. But also, it also goes back to people's situations.
Right? That's why they say never negotiate out of a fucking place of hunger. Make yourself comfortable. And then you can go negotiate. Because if you're negotiating and you're like, yo, I need this money right now. Somebody could dangle whatever carrot in your face and you're like, I'll take that.
Yeah, obviously. You're
take this meal when you could have got 50.
Exactly.
That's like when fucking...
And no ownership.
What's his name said? What?
Sorry, can I get a paper, please?
What's his name? Fucking... The Lion King. The guy from the Lion King. Right? His mom had enough foresight to be like, no, I don't want $2 million.
Oh.
We'll take 100,000 and some royalties.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and now he's
yeah.
like, yo, my kids are gonna eat off of that. Like, yo, in the long run, did you make? I think it was Vlad who interviewed him.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yo, did you make more than the $2 million? He said, oh, hell
way more.
yeah, over the time, then.
Yeah.
So yeah, you made the money back in the long run, and now guess what? His kids can eat off of that because his mom had the foresight to realize.
Somebody might have been mad in the family, like, what?
Exactly.
You didn't take the bag now?
You didn't take the $2 million? You took only 100,000 for royalties?
Nah, man, don't worry. Now everybody's laughing.
His mom is like, nigga, I told you so.
Yeah. Well, salute to them, and like I said, like hopefully they get it back together because that's something that I look forward to like twice a week. You know what I'm saying?